True story. I'm super excited to have our feature tonight. I wrote some shit, but let's be honest, I'm selfish. I think her work is amazing. I'll read her bio, but you'll learn better here shortly. Tiffany Burba is a poet and photographer living in Vancouver. Some people call it Vantuck. You have issues with that?
I do too.
Right. Yeah, well, maybe for different reasons, actually.
Ghost Town.
Ghost towns are really, yeah. She's been published in Ghost Town Anthology, Volume 2, poeming, I can't say poeming. Poeming Pigeons, Doobie or Not to Be, and poems about music. Her first full-length book, Meet Where I Left You, by Printed Matter, Vancouver, is available here tonight for 10 bones. Please get up for Tiffany Burba. I should have got that for you. Stumble through the whole thing.
It's all right. You should have whiskey, then I would be more forgiving.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you very much for having me. I've wanted to feature here for a long time, so
happy you're here.
this is very exciting. So this is my book. It's all poems about New York. So if you don't like New York, sorry, just drink a lot and you'll be all right.
Typical New York attitude, you know.
I'm not from New York, but I plan to be from
She
New
will
York.
be.
I like
You're
that.
really
Oh, yeah. Burn on. I like the city.
So this is my first poem called Welcome Home. The pilot comes on the speaker and says, in just a few moments, you'll be able to see Manhattan on the right side of the plane. For those of you on the left, maybe next time get a seat on the right. I didn't pick which side of the plane I was seated on, just took the cheapest option, as the flight doesn't matter as much as just getting there. Even high above the concrete streets, my city calls to me. I see the people on the other side of the plane trying to catch the views, wishing they could see how beautiful the city looks just below the clouds. New York is the same but different as it stands, its arms wide open to welcome me back once again. I nod as the city winks, and we both know I will once again leave here changed.
Yeah. That's how I feel about Portland.
So there's several sections of the book, and one is New York stories, and these are actually made-up stories about adventures my friend and I want to take. So this one is called Soup Dumpling Waiting. My friend, today we are headed back to Central Park. Right now the trees are just starting to form buds. The air is crisp, so wear gloves and a hat. I appreciate the park's transformation since we last visited in October. Let's start at the entrance by the Guggenheim Museum on 5th Avenue and East 88th Street. There is a giant reservoir with ducks and turtles and all kinds of wonderful bridges to explore. I figure we can grab a hot dog if we get hungry. There is an exhibit at the Guggenheim called Photo Poetics. You will love the Guggenheim. There is also a tribute to Frank Lloyd Wright's architecture throughout New York City. I know museums aren't your thing, but there are soup dumplings waiting at the end of our day. I know you'll almost do anything for those.
Yeah.
So part of the appeal of New York for me is my younger brother lives there and my niece. So February of 2015, my brother who lives in China and we were all three together in New York. So this poem was about that weekend. It's called Sibling Reunion. Arrival. Ecstatic. Bright eyes, pressed hair, face painted. I arrive in New York fresh picked like the cherry blossoms on the trees of Portland. 3 days of nonstop whiskey, conversation, men, and salty meat. Departure. Depleted, whiskey hangover, stomach holds a single bagel, eyes puffy from tears, water retention in my fingertips. Exhausted, I say goodbye to brothers and sister, farewell to new friends, eyes burning the sun's reflection on mounds of new snow. This time, the city won.
Reminds me of Vegas.
So my friend Clay, who took this picture when we went to New York in October of 2015, he and I were up late one night, as you do when you're in New York, and we wrote a corpse poem. So this is our corpse poem in Woodside. It's cold this 17th day of October. Leaves cover the ground in Harlem. A biting wind brings a familiar ache to old joints. Inner currents of our New York City electricity insulates our souls, leave creaks in our aging bones. The city robs their sleep. She is present in body, but her mind is lost in the thought of coming choices. Her mind is always searching for answers to questions that refuse to reveal truth. A different time, a different place, fear and self-consciousness converge into a dizzy New York state of mind. The clouds disappear into the universe. We hold court, play judge and jury, win both sides of the argument, as if anything but the inevitable, death by hanging verdict, is possible.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can write when you're high and drunk. So
Yeah.
Is that vodka?
cheers. I'm a whiskey girl, so no, it's water. Most people know that about me, but I guess we haven't got to the whiskey
trying to be
pumps
funny.
yet.
Whiskey.
I know.
I was trying to be funny.
Believe me, if I drank that much, I would not be able to read it all. This one is called When the City Calls. This time I cry when I arrive, taken back into the emotions. The stir of memories haunt my nightly dreams. The smell of the city is tantalizing, a sensory overload of savory and sweet. I take it in like a long head off a blunt, hold my breath, not wanting any to escape. This time I have specific motivations, energy focused. I keep my words to friends. I taste the lips of fantasies, dance with comedians, and drink with teachers and poets. I laugh with old friends as they acknowledge why the city calls to me from 3,000 miles. I brace myself as each day draws me closer to departure. Stay in the moment, I remind myself, but the seduction of the city is too strong for a woman like me. Mr. Gaffney, I'm reading this one for you.
Please, thank you.
Soup dumplings.
Oh, shit, yeah.
If you haven't tried soup dumplings at Joe Shanghai in New York City, I highly recommend it. And hopefully after this poem, you really want to try them. Anticipate these strangely described treats I am ready to consume. They have the appearance of testicles, she says. I laugh. My brother blushes. I observe the method, feel like I've invited to a ritual, a New York rite of passage. Lift, bite, carefully sip the hot soup, savor the warmth as it cascades over the tongue, consume the meat and the delicious morsel of dough it's wrapped in. I did it, I declare. She laughs, another addicted to the soup dumpling.
That's not actually about soup dumplings, right?
Huh?
That's not actually about soup dumplings, right?
It is.
That's about something else.
No, it's so good. It's really about soup.
Yeah.
Trust me, once you eat them, you'll get it.
Yeah, yeah. There's no metaphors there. It's
All
like
suckers.
Yeah, I'm into soup dumplings too, right?
Yeah. You should know me better. I don't use metaphors. I give it to you straight. So. I would have called it what it was. So the title for the book, Meet Me Where I Left You, was actually kind of, I got the title from a bunch of poems I'd written called Meet Me Where I Last Left You. So this first poem is for Shane, and he was a young man I met in New York when I was doing a reading there, and we became friends, and we are still friends. So this is for Shane. Meet me where I last left you, on the city street, where the snow was stacked and the winter air chilled our bones. Meet me down the street from Cat's Deli, where we conversed via text, as I ate salty pastrami with my brothers. Meet me back in the bar where we did the dance, as you looked, smiled, and turned away. Back in that moment when your lips pressed against mine, and you asked for my number. Meet me back when you gave me those first hugs and those kisses, as my sister took our picture. Meet me back in that moment so I can spend more time getting to know you. If I can't get back to you, meet me where I left you, after you kissed me, back where I last felt my heart.
Yes.
New York's had a big impact on me in many ways, so I have to go there for inspiration. So one of the hardest parts about going to New York is coming back from New York. So this is a poem called Coming Home. It rained the morning I left. Even this tough place sheds tears when I leave. I did my crying the previous 2 days. Knew it was coming. Could feel the sadness, as leaving is always the hardest. I grow quiet in the days after my birthday. So many visions, so many thoughts, rest on surfaces of empty whiskey glasses. Sisters are hard, their love and protection leave thorns around my tongue, making it hard to speak. Brothers are kind, support the openness of a life lived without regret. Friends love and enjoy, embrace and cheer, remind me that I'm rare and worthy of love. My hometown welcomes me with tears, and rain washes away city grime, damaged hearts, fulfilled fantasies. The Northwest knows it's losing the battle, so it flashes sunlight through gray clouds. This is to remind me I belong here too. This poem is called Recovery. It's not what you think. Even though it does take a few days to recover. I've recovered most of my heart, been searching since February, thought I found it a few times, but came up empty. I knew it was close when I stepped foot on the concrete streets of the city. It's beating stronger as I find clay, louder as I hug my brother and kiss my sister, faster as I see Lily, so much bigger. The more I experience, the stronger it becomes. Trevor has it skipping a few beats outside the W Hotel. Still, it's not quite beating within my chest. Sunday night, I laugh, dance, drink, and pose for pictures. It's so close I can touch it. There is only one way to have it back. The person I left it with on the cold streets of New York has yet to return it. I wonder if he's ready to give it back. And this poem is for my friend Trevor in New York. I just kind of forced myself on him one time and we became friends. He didn't really have a choice. He talked to me for 4 hours and I'm like, you're my friend for life now. So this is a Meet Me Where I Last Left You poem for Trevor. Meet me at the W Hotel in Times Square, where you first kissed me as I wished you happy birthday. Back where you declared you could kiss me forever as alcohol lingered upon your lips. Meet me at Grand Central Station, where you wanted me alone, but obligations to old friends didn't allow this to happen. At Slate, where I watched you do your thing, greet guests and pose for pictures. Meet me back on the 21st of October, where we first met the year before, as you pressed me against the dirty wall, the four-faced liar, and kissed me so passionately. Meet me in the taxi cab headed towards Woodside, where we agreed to live in the moment with no regrets, as I stared at your lips and you said, "What are you waiting for?" Or back in the early morning hours, when sunlight woke tired eyes and dry mouths, as our bodies became one, and a year's worth of visions played out like sultry jazz. Maybe in our last moments as we said our goodbyes, with last kisses, as you wished me happy birthday. So, some of you know that I am a big lover of the moon, and
Yes.
I find that it's even more brilliant in New York, so this is my poem, Moon Over Manhattan. There he is, ever so present, watching me enjoy the glow of the city's streets. Dust has begun to set in the October sky. The moon is here in all his brilliance. He spares me from heartbreak, keeps me from thoughts that are always on my mind. It's cold this 24th day of October. I bundle up in my trench coat as I walk the streets with my brother and sister. We just left Shabbat service in the heart of Manhattan. I always enjoy the religious ceremonies, yet not a fan of religion itself. I just can't seem to buy into the rules. We continue to walk towards the subway, debate on where to eat great food. In that moment, I realize the moon is my God. He guides me, watches over me, leads me towards the lessons I need to learn. He places me at the foot of the Atlantic Ocean so I can continue to be reborn.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 more. So this is my Meet Me Where I Last Left You poem for New York. Meet me as fall has just started to change the leaves in Central Park, where the green transforms to orange and yellow as the air is crisp in the morning, warm in the afternoon, and chilly at night. Meet me as I welcome Clay to bask in your ambiance, where he and I grow in our love for one another. Back at my brother's place in Woodside, where I first envisioned the life I would make in this city. Meet me on your streets where I let my feet soak up your grime and let your museums feed my artistic desires. Where I spend time with my family eating Korean barbecue in Flushing and pierogies in Greenpoint. Meet me as I take a ride from Roosevelt Island to Manhattan, making a brief stop at the Museum of Sex. At the rooftop bar where my sister and I sit, laugh, and drink overpriced cocktails. Meet my brother and I on your street corners where we eat hot dogs from street vendors before attending Shabbat service, where I take in all the rituals of the Jewish tradition. Meet me as I travel down 30th Avenue, where I shop for cannolis and chocolate-covered strawberries, and watch Logan and Lucas devour the Italian treats, as Lily enjoys a giant strawberry. Meet me where I plan to make thy life as I fall deeper in love with you, as you restore any brokenness that my heart still clings to, where I pursue fantasies and live without regret. Meet me back in the moment that love finally found the space that New York opened in my heart. And this is the last poem in the book, and my last poem I'm going to read tonight. It's called I Was Loved. I dreamt last night that I was loved, far beyond anything tangible. Last night I dreamt so hard as if I could carry it through to waking. As my eyes opened, I tried to keep them shut, keep them in that moment before I feel the rush of loneliness that always shows up unwelcomed at my door. Last night I dreamt that you were beside me, after we made love in sweet rhythmic response to our heartbeats. My hand drifts over to feel flat, cold sheets, no trace that you have ever been there, or ever will be. Last night I slept in Astoria, woke to the bright sun of a New York fall morning. Last night I dreamt of New York as I reached over to feel the skin of a new lover, feel his platinum wedding band, and realize he has always been my dream, the one my mind was unable to realize in a conscious state. Last night I dreamt I was loved, and I was. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tiffany Burba, everybody. All right, let's take 6.7 minutes to smoke a cigarette and come back for a really good second half. Thanks.
Yeah.